Friday night. Do you know how I know it's Friday night? I'm talking to a damn computer about guitars. Welcome to Gear Guys Radio After Hours. Good evening, Internet Monkeys. This is Jack Harrison with Gear Guys Radio. And thank you so much for hanging out for After Hours Gear Guys Radio with me. You already stuck around and heard the Gear Guys Radio broadcast, and now you said, hey, let's spend some more time with Jack. He seems all right. So I got my vitamin vodka. We're good to go. And tonight we're going to be focusing on Kiesel Carvin guitars. Jeff Kiesel has recently announced that his website will be worldwide by April 1st. So that means that in the 30 countries that receive the broadcast of Gear Guys Radio, you guys will be able to go on and order an American-made custom guitar to your specifications. Because of that, I want to spend a few minutes going over how to do so to make sure you understand all your options. Because if you get an instrument that's perfect for you, you don't need to make any changes, you're going to play better. So sit back, relax. I'm having some vitamin vodka, as you can see. Grab a drink and let's get to work. Hey, good people of the interwebs. Tonight I'm going to show you how to build your dream guitar on the Kiesel Carvin Guitars site. And yes, it is Kiesel Carvin Guitars now. There's a wonderful backstory about why they're incorporating their family's name again in the logo and everything they're doing, which I'll be talking about later on in this broadcast. But for now, we're going to dabble in a little bit with just building a monster of a guitar. And the reason why I'm doing this is Gear Guys Radio is a syndicated radio show that is broadcasted every Wednesday night in 30 countries. And as of April 1st, Kiesel Carvin Guitars site, the one we're looking at right now, is the site that will be available in every country worldwide except for 4. And those 4 countries, if you're watching this video and you can't get to the site, well, it sucks to be you. I'm sure you can go about getting a Kiesel Carvin guitar, just not here. So what I always recommend is a few steps involved when you're looking at a serious purchase and an instrument that's going to help you excel your career, or if you're a hobbyist, just that next step in the right direction. 1, get a big tall glass of rational thinking juice. This is a little bit of vodka. It's fantastic. It helps me make decisions, life decisions, especially when spending money. So I've already drank a little bit of this, and I'm ready to go. Now, I spent the majority of the day looking through the site to determine what I wanted, and there is a lot. So I suggest before you're ready to buy that day, go on and really look. The first category that I excluded was basses, because I don't consider bass players real people. Yeah, they're friends with the drummer, and they're necessary. They're all cute and cuddly and stuff, and they're fun to have around. And their girlfriends wear shirts saying, oh, the bass player is the best person ever. Yeah, it's all about guitars. So let's take a look at that. Now you're going to take a look at the guitar page. The guitar page is going to have a ton of options. And with these options, you're going to have your guitars in stock, which are the guitars that are readily available if you do not want to wait the 6 to 8 weeks that it takes to build a custom guitar. And then there's 3 categories where you can go through and choose based on the style of instrument you wish to play. After looking through the entire site, I've determined that the Kiesel Vader is the guitar that is most appropriate and closest to the end product that I want, stock. So we're going to go to Kiesel, and the first one that actually comes up is the Vader. Now this instrument is available in 6, 7, and 8 strings. Now I do not play 7 or 8 strings. I can barely play 6. So it makes the most sense for me is the 6-string version of this guitar. Let me move me out of the way. So the landing page that comes up is really cool. And this is where you're going to spend a lot of your time looking at the different models. This will give you the product overview, which Kiesel Carvin Guitars is excellent with explaining everything you need to know about the instrument. But what my favorite part is the specifications page. This is what tells me as a player exactly what the guitar is going to feel like. For example, this is a neck through design, which I know is going to give me the compression and the sustain I'm looking for this project. I do not like the 27-inch scale, but 25.5 is an option, and from my understanding, it is a free option, which is always great because I'm a musician and we like free stuff. But when you look through, you can see body type, neck type, the different tone woods, fingerboard radius. That's another thing I'm going to change. But it gives you everything. And if you understand what you like if you go out and buy a pair of shoes, if you're a 11.5 triple E, you're not going to buy a 9. You're not going to buy a 12. It's not going to fit you. This guitar, with a few modifications, fits me, and it's just going to be a beast. So I've looked through everything. I've drooled over the pictures. I've lost sleep over it. And then I look at the price. It's $1,199 stock, which is unbelievably inexpensive. And the cool part is if you have good credit, you put 20% down and finance this guitar stock for only $39 a month. Now that's my goal, is to finance this with 20% down to finance the difference. So I'm looking for a guitar that's almost stock with a few small modifications to get me where I need to be. So I click on the custom builder page, and the first page in that comes up, let's move me out of the way here, is telling you a little bit about the 20% deposit with the financing, the standard options. Read this page, it's important. If you don't understand it, call. They're very good with answering questions, and believe it or not, the wait time is not that long. So I've read through it, I've clicked, and the first page that comes up is the neck direction. Now the neck direction is the orientation of the instrument, right or left-handed. Just like bass players, left-handed players, I don't consider to be real people. So of course, right being correct, I'm going to choose that. It's what's defaulted anyway. It's just the way to go, folks. After you choose the orientation of the instrument, this is where things really, really open up for you, and it becomes a true custom shop. Now, I like the fact that the guitar is alder and maple, and I chose that again because the less modifications I have to make, the closer I am to the original price, meaning that my budget is not going to be exceeded by all that much. But if I wanted a mahogany body and white limba neck, this is where I would change it, and this is where the options are. What I am going to change is I want a chambered instrument. I want an instrument that has a hollowish, quirky sound with rolling sustain opposed to flat. And more importantly, I'm old. I don't want to carry around a a beast of a guitar for 3 hours. Chambered, besides the tonal properties I like, it weighs a little bit less. So that's what I'm going to choose. It's a $150 option, still completely within my budget, which makes me very happy. The next pages that you have, you start off with the finishes, how you want your guitar to look, how do you want it to actually feel, touch the feel with your hand on the neck and so forth. For me, I'm not a clear coat kind of guy. I like matte finishes. I've been known to buy clear coat guitars and take a StewMac micro mesh finishing kit to remove it to give it a nice flat finish. So I'm obviously going to go with the matte finish for myself, and I'm not one for seeing the flame of the guitar, the flamed maple top. I don't need to see that. I like a traditional seafoam green. Seafoam green is sexy. It says pick me up and play me and hold me and do all types of dirty stuff. So I'm going to do that. You do have a huge selection of options when it comes to the finishes. You have the solid colors, which I like. Then you have translucent colors that will give you the flamed maple, the fire look, or the quilt, or whatever you have. You're going to see the grain in the wood. That's okay. It's just not for me. You could also choose the burst edges to give it a little bit more pop, and other finishes. I mean, they do a fantastic job with the finishes if that's your thing. For me, I'm a plain Jane kind of guy. It's just what I like. Next is the neck fingerboard options. This is also something you do not get when you're buying regular guitars off the shelf. Again, I do like the stock option, so I'm fortunate I don't need to change this. But if you looked at that Vader, I mean, that thing's freaking sexy. And if you wanted, a black Kalimba neck with 2 maple stripes, there it is, $200. You got it. You really don't get that with, going to some of the other websites. It's what they want, and that's it. And that's good if you're like that. I like options. Again, fortunate. What I like is stock with them. What I will change on this is I want a tongue oil on the back of the neck because I do not like gloss finishes. Tongue oil is very, very thin. It allows the wood to breathe, and I'm one of those weirdos. I will also take all of the inlays out of the fingerboard because I like it clean with just side dots. And the frets, I want 60-100. I like jumbo. I like them a little bit higher, a little bit thinner, and I would go with a 14-inch radius. Now, if I was buying, say, one of the mass-produced guitars of anybody else, even a custom shop, I may not get all these options. So it's an excellent, excellent opportunity to build, excuse me, the guitar of your dreams by just changing these very few things. For example, a 20-inch radius is going to play completely different than 14. And it's just, you need to have that. You need to have that option to make the guitar exactly what you want. Now, when it comes to the bridge pickup and the neck pickup, they normally give you options. The options that they give us here are pretty much what they recommend. I would always go with what they recommended. And with this, it just happens to be those pickups. So I'm going to go with it. I do want white coils because I believe that it will pop off of the paint a little bit more, or the finish a little bit more, because I'm going with a seafoam green. So I'll pay the extra $5. And when it comes to strings and hardware, they give you one option. You go with it. If not, it's just it's an aesthetically pleasing thing. Strings is important. This guitar has a specialized cut nut. And with the specialized cut nut, you don't want to have to go back in and recut it. So if you're a light gauge player, select 9s. Heavy gauge or medium, 10s. You need something heavier or lighter, call them. Let them know, hey, I'm a weirdo. I play 8s. I'm a weirdo. I play 11s. Call them. They'll do it for you. But make sure the nut is cut correctly or the instrument will not play correctly. With the logo, I want white. Again, it is what comes stock. White or black is no additional charge, just because white will pop off of the color scheme that I've chosen. And I would like to do 20% deposit. So I'm going to continue. Whenever I buy a new guitar, I always get a strap. I always get a cable. And let's go check it out in the cart. Now, I've been adding a few of these over the night to see which ones I like. And we're going to, see exactly what's in here. But at this point, you would go through and select what you wanted. I'm obviously not going to be buying 3 to 4 guitars, but I was putzing around with it and didn't clear out my cart. So at this point, you go through and look. You say, okay, this is right, this is right, this is right. 25.5 scale, no charge. That's fantastic. Tongue oil, everything's right that I want. You can print the specs to hold on to them and call them if you're that type of person. For me, at this point, I would make sure there's only the one in the cart that I want. I would go to the secure checkout, and I would sign into my Kiesel Carvin Guitars account. And in 6 to 8 weeks, I will have the guitar of my dreams. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions in regards, you can call Carvin Guitars or Kiesel Carvin Guitars at 858 Guitars. They're in California. You can also inbox me at Gear Guys Radio. It is Jack Harrison, JACHARRISON at gearguysradio.com, and I'll be more than happy to assist you with building your dream Kiesel Carvin guitar. And we're back. I hope that video tutorial helped you out and you're able to build your dream guitar. When you build a guitar that is absolutely perfect for you, you tend to play a little bit better. So again, if you have any questions, contact Kiesel Carvin Guitars, or you can contact me through Gear Guys Radio. Now, one of the things I wanted to bring up is that the Kiesel name is back in the Carvin logo, back in everything they're doing, and it really is about family values. And the best way to understand it is by visiting the Kiesel Carvin Guitars website, reading about their history. Like in 1947, when Lowell Kiesel started winding pickups, and he had to give up his family's name because there was a conflict of interest with the people he was working with. He named his company Carvin after his children, Carson and Gavin, which gave you Carvin Guitars. So that's why we have Carvin Guitars. But Kiesel is a family. Kiesel Carvin Guitars is what you've always bought, is always what you've read about and seen in magazines. It is just now called Kiesel Carvin Guitars as opposed to Carvin Guitars. If you have any questions on this, they'll be more than happy to answer it. But other than that, I've spent most of your night, at least 10 minutes of it, which if you're on the internet, you have ADD and ADHD, that's a hell of a long time. Go have a drink, go order a guitar, tune into Gear Guys Radio every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at gearguysradio.com. This is Jack Harrison, and thank you so much for joining me for After Hours. Gear Guys Radio your number one source for all things gear, live every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at GearGuysRadio.com.